to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, a warm and gentle place where you can set aside the cares of the day and settle into the soft comfort of the evening. In tonight's story, you'll be invited to follow a gentle snowfall onto a cozy porch inhabited by a serene Nutcracker, a silent guardian of winter wonder. Take a moment to rest your head, ease your shoulders, and draw in a deep, calming breath. As you exhale, notice how the weight of your worries begins to melt away, leaving you just a bit lighter. The hush of the room, the softness of your blanket, and the slow expansion of your lungs welcome you to a quiet realm of relaxation. In your mind, you might already begin to picture a small lamp glowing in the distance. An invitation to step closer, step slower, and experience the enchantment of a peaceful winter's night. Feel the cool tingle of air against your cheeks as you breathe in. And let your breath spill out like the faintest of clouds, drifting through the cold twilight. Imagine each exhale as a gentle breeze, carrying away all the lingering thoughts and to-do lists of the day. You are free now, free to let the soothing stillness guide you deeper into comfort. Allow the hush to spread through your limbs. Notice your hands settling softly by your sides. Notice your legs releasing any tension, falling into a restful place. Soon, you will float along in a story that asks nothing from you but a willingness to receive calm and ease. Let these words be a lulling guide, drawing your attention away from the chatter of the mind and toward the simple beauty of a softly falling snow. Now let yourself drift as your perspective shifts, like stepping onto a quiet stage where a tale unfolds at its own gentle pace. The story begins in a tucked-away part of the countryside, on a small porch where a wooden nutcracker stands, ever watchful, while silent flakes of snow dance in the air around him. On the outskirts of a little town with a steepled church and winding lanes sits a snug cottage that has seen many winters and many joys. Each holiday season, its porch is home to a proud nutcracker, carved from stout wood and painted with rich hues of red and green. He stands at attention by the sturdy door, one hand on a carved staff, the other curled in a friendly greeting. Although he never moves, there is a hint of a smile beneath his painted mustache, a subtle sign that he invites all who pass to enjoy the simple wonders of the moment. The porch is swept clean each morning by a kind-hearted caretaker who lives inside the cottage. She makes sure that the nutcracker stands securely, even when winds push through the evergreen branches and send snow swirling in delicate flurries around him. Tall pines shade the cottage from harsh winds, their boughs laden with a dusting of fresh powder. Icicles dangle from the edge of the roof, like small crystal blades shining when moonlight or lamplight touches them. It's the quiet season here, when the earth curls up under a blanket of white, and the hush of the world extends into every corner of this little home. The caretaker inside the cottage is older, her hair silvered by many winters, her heart filled with many stories. Each evening she lights a lantern on the porch, so a gentle glow falls across the Nutcracker's steadfast figure. She takes comfort in his presence, grateful for his silent companionship. When the afternoon sky begins to pale, she steps outside with a warm shawl around her shoulders to tend to the lantern's gentle flame, watching as that familiar, comforting light settles over the patch of ground around the porch. The warmth of the lantern glows on the Nutcracker's painted cheeks, giving him a kindly appearance that welcomes the approach of night. In the still air of dusk, when the world turns quiet, a faint hush settles upon the land. Some nights, the caretaker stands for a few moments beside the Nutcracker, listening to the wind weave through the branches and the far-off call of a bird seeking shelter. She remembers times long past when her children, now grown, would dart out the door in search of the season's first snowdrifts, or gather around to admire the Nutcracker, imagining him coming alive to join them on twinkling December nights. Now all that remains is the memory of their laughter, echoing sweetly in her mind as she returns inside. When darkness drapes itself softly over the scene, the sky often sends down a gentle flurry of snow. Tonight, the flakes begin almost imperceptibly, drifting on the faintest sigh of wind. Within minutes, the air is alive with a soft swirl of white, tiny crystals dancing downward, each one a delicate masterpiece. They swirl around the Nutcracker's hat, settle onto the brim, then slide off onto the porch. He stands as he always does, a guardian of the hush, unflinching and content to welcome whatever the sky chooses to bring. Inside the cottage, there is a single window near the porch, and through that window, a warm glow emerges. Beyond that glass, a soft fire flickers in the stone hearth. A cradle of embers, softly crackling, diffuses gentle warmth. The caretaker sits there, a cup of tea in her hands, in a rocking chair, handed down through generations. She muses on the stories this house has known. Sometimes she imagines them floating through the air like motes of dust in the lamplight. The whispers of old recollections, drifting and settling wherever they find a quiet corner. But outside, the scene is simpler, free from the flicker of memory. Only the Nutcracker remains, tall and still. His polished eyes reflect the subtle patterns of falling snow. Time passes slowly as the night deepens and the hush becomes so profound that even the smallest shift of wind can be heard. The snow piles up around the porch, covering the footprints of daytime visitors and smoothing away any rough edges. This is a place where the world is renewed each evening, a chance to let go of everything that has come before and simply rest in the present. Not far from the cottage, a gentle slope leads down to a cluster of pines. Beneath their branches, small woodland creatures gather, their tracks crisscrossing in the snow. A curious fox steps quietly through the moonlit trees, pausing now and then to test the air. Its breath rises like a wisp before the fox disappears behind a trunk, leaving only a faint trail of paw prints. Somewhere else, a family of rabbits nestles in a hollow, lulled by the tranquil hush. And in that hush, the caretaker occasionally hears the hush of tiny footprints skittering across her yard, though she rarely tries to catch a glimpse, preferring to let nature thrive in its silent domain. As the evening advances, the caretaker sets down her teacup, stands, and makes her way to the door. She opens it just a crack, mindful not to let too much chill creep in. The Nutcracker greets her with the same gentle confidence as always. She steps outside carefully in woolen slippers that leave a delicate imprint on the dusting of snow across the porch. Up close, she marvels again at the flurries drifting from the sky. She places a hand on the Nutcracker's wooden shoulder, perhaps as a silent good night or a tender gesture of gratitude. With a soft sigh, she returns indoors, her shawl trailing behind, and shuts the door on the crisp air. Left alone once more, the Nutcracker stands in regal silence, wearing his dusting of snow like a quiet honor. Hours pass, and the night grows still deeper. It's the in-between time when the last of the day's bustle finally settles into dreams, and the new day has yet to awaken. The porch light flickers softly on the icicles, their surfaces shimmering in an otherwise dark world. Snow drifts in gentle slopes around the porch rails, forming little peaks and valleys. The hush intensifies like a comforting blanket drawn over everything in sight. In the faint glow, it's almost possible to imagine the Nutcracker breathing slowly, in tune with the night. There's a subtle magic to it, a sense that old stories and timeless guardians carry their own measure of life, even in the stillness. Perhaps he too remembers children's laughter or the echoes of carols drifting through crisp air. Or maybe he exists simply for this moment, to remind passers-by of calm and watchfulness, to remind them that life's simplest acts, like breathing, like observing, are small wonders in themselves. Across the lane, a neighbor's lantern flickers through a frosted window. There, a family settles in for the night, reading a few pages of a favorite tale before letting their eyes rest. The gentle glow from their home reaches out across the snow, merging with the moonlight in one harmonious shimmer. The caretaker's cottage is not alone here. There are others tucked behind snow-laden hedges, each with its own quiet life. But no lights shine quite as serenely on their porches as the one that glows upon the painted face of the wooden Nutcracker. From time to time, small gusts of wind send flurries dancing in spirals around the yard. A swirl of flakes might rise, drift near the Nutcracker's boots, then disperse into the air. It's a graceful ballet performed for no audience but the silent figure on the porch and the occasional watchful night owl perched on a distant branch. The swirling snow glistens as if illuminated from within, each flake catching a hint of lamplight. The porch steps remain free of heavy drifts, thanks to the roof's gentle slope, but a thin layer of powdered snow glistens on the steps, reflecting that quiet moonbeam from above. Over time, even the fox, the rabbits, and the other nocturnal wanderers decide to seek their dens, lulled by the peaceful hush. Clouds drift across the moon, and the wind hushes. One might think time itself has paused, allowing everything to rest. This is a night that invites the gentle unwinding of body and mind. Even the caretaker stirs less frequently within the cottage. Her gentle snores, perhaps a chorus to the hush outdoors, the hush that covers the fields, the hush that covers the porch. Yet the snow continues, a steady, tender drift, a winter lullaby that covers the Nutcracker's shoulders, forms a soft cap on his wooden hat, and gradually blankets the entire yard in layers of pure white. In the lantern's glow, it's as if the porch stands at the threshold of a world spun from frost and starlight. In some quiet corner of imagination, one might envision that wooden figure leaning forward just a bit, as though bowing in gratitude to the night, the same way the caretaker would greet a dear friend at the door. Before dawn begins to stretch across the sky, a profound stillness sets in. The air seems to take one long, slow breath, gathering itself for the moment when the first color of morning will appear. At this hour, a single star may be visible, hanging low and bright near the horizon. The Nutcracker appears to watch it attentively. If a distant traveler happened along the lane, they would see a warm glow spilling from the cottage window, a statue standing guard on the porch, and snow swirling so gently that each flake appears to hang in the air before it reaches the earth. Little by little, the dark sky begins to show the faintest hint of dawn. It's not a bold sunrise, but rather a gentle lifting of night's veil. The once hidden shapes of tree branches now stand out against the sky in pale silhouettes. The caretaker, sensing the approach of day, stirs in her bed. Soon she will rise to greet the new morning, stepping carefully across the wooden floor, her slippers padding softly. Outside, the Nutcracker looks much the same as ever, but there is a fresh layer of snow at his base, a testament to the night's slow, persistent offering. By the time the caretaker opens the front door again, the sky is brushed with pearly shades of dawn. She steps onto the porch, blinking at the crisp morning light. The air is cold, but not harsh, and her first breath of it awakens something in her, an old feeling of wonder, perhaps, that she has never quite lost. She brushes a small gathering of snow off the Nutcracker's shoulder and smiles. Maybe she mutters something like, "Good morning, old friend." though no one is around to hear but him. In the stillness, the caretaker's voice seems both small and tender, like a whisper between longtime companions. She picks up a small broom and sweeps the porch, moving slowly so as not to disturb the hush too abruptly. The bristles make faint whispers against the wooden boards, leaving delicate lines in the thin layer of snow. She takes her time breathing in the crisp air, watching each exhale drift away like a gentle cloud. The act of clearing the snow feels meditative, a small ritual that honors the changing seasons and the passage of time. Although her broom sweeps the snow from the porch boards, it can't sweep away that quiet magic that has settled overnight. Instead, the magic seems to cling to the edges, drifting in the corners, dancing on the rails, and shimmering in the caretaker's kindly eyes. When she finishes, she leans the broom gently against the wall and takes one more moment to admire the scene. The Nutcracker stands free of his snowy mantle now, though a trace of white still lingers around his hat. The caretaker steps to the edge of the porch, gazing out at the landscape. The pines stand tall and serene, branches curved under the graceful weight of new snow. Each twig and needle glimmers with frost. There is a hush in the distance, a hush that belongs to that fleeting time just after dawn, when not everything has awakened yet. Birds are beginning to ruffle their feathers, offering the faintest chirps. Somewhere a rooster crows, though it is far enough away not to break the stillness. She lifts the lantern from its hook, careful not to shake out the flame. The soft light flickers against the morning's fresh glow, a little beacon of warmth in the winter air. Soon, she'll bring it inside, let it rest until dusk comes again, and then place it back out for another night's vigil. It's this routine, this gentle daily rhythm, that brings a sense of comfort to all who pass. Those routines, so small and seemingly simple, are often the quiet pillars that hold a life together. With the porch swept and the lantern in hand, the caretaker heads back inside to start her day. The kettle will soon sing on the stove. A bit of breakfast will warm the old kitchen. But the image of the soft snowfall remains, lingering in the caretaker's mind. She looks through the window every now and then, making sure the Nutcracker stands tall and that the snow, ever so delicate, continues to caress the land beyond her home. In this way, the small wonders of each day and each night weave themselves into her life, a tapestry of quiet joys and gentle observations. That morning, the sunlight grows a little stronger, revealing the sparkle of tiny crystals embedded in the fresh layer of snow. The rest of the town begins to stir. Chimneys release thin trails of smoke into the crisp air. Mail carriers head out on their routes, and children might stand at windows, enthralled by the beauty of a new snowfall. But in the caretaker's cottage, there is a contentment that invites unhurried movement. Breakfast is not rushed. The caretaker takes slow sips of her tea, savoring the warmth. Hours drift by, the sun climbing a wintry arc across the sky. Eventually, faint shadows stretch from the fence posts, marking the slow crawl of afternoon. The temperature remains cold but not biting. In the caretaker's yard, little footprints of squirrels zigzag around the base of the pines, looking for seeds or hidden treasures. The Nutcracker, of course, says nothing, but he's there to witness it all. If the small creatures are startled by his presence, they soon realize he poses no threat. He merely gazes forward, unwavering, as though safeguarding the hush of the moment. There's an ageless serenity in the Nutcracker's gaze. Perhaps it's just the way his painted eyes reflect the light, but those who pause to look often find themselves lulled into a sense of calm. It's as though he stands at the boundary between the cottage's cozy warmth and the winter's gentle expanse, offering a reminder that there is peace in both. He doesn't judge the swirling snow, nor does he seek to escape it. He simply exists as part of the scene, a steadfast figure that has witnessed countless nights, just like the one that passed. Late in the afternoon, clouds begin to gather again. The caretaker, as is her habit, steps onto the porch to gather a bit of firewood. She glances at the sky, noting the gently shifting patterns. It seems there might be more snow coming. She smiles, thinking of how the Nutcracker never complains, never grows weary of the cold. In a sense, that wooden figure mirrors her own approach to life. Observe what comes, cherish what you can, and let each day unfold without rushing. The caretaker arranges a new set of logs by the fireplace and stokes the embers until the hearth crackles with renewed warmth. As the room begins to glow, she once again prepares her evening meal. Tonight, a simple soup steams in a pot. The windows fog slightly from the gentle warmth of the stove. Outside, the light dims, and a delicate swirl of snow resumes. The caretaker can see it through the window, small flakes dancing in the lamplight she left on the porch. The Nutcracker catches the glow, just as he does each night, reminding anyone who sees him that the season's magic is as real as their breath in the frosty air. Dusk returns, folding itself gently over the cottage, the yard, and the tall pines. The caretaker finishes her supper and rinses her dish. She stands near the window a while, gazing out with a soft smile. There is a timeless quality to the scene, the hush, the snow, the gentle watchman on the porch. Night after night, winter spreads its peaceful essence here, and each time feels both new and comforting. The caretaker dims the lights inside, leaving only the flicker of firelight dancing across the walls. Soon she will settle into her chair, perhaps read a page or two from a beloved book, and then let her eyelids grow heavy. Outside, the Nutcracker remains in his silent vigil. The wind may brush a few stray flakes along his coat or swirl them around the porch. He stands, as always, untroubled by the chill. Overhead, the clouds drift, occasionally revealing glimpses of a silver moon. Each time the moonlight falls upon the cottage, it transforms the snow into a field of shimmering possibility. And in the caretaker's mind, A gentle gratitude blooms. Gratitude for another day, another silent, peaceful night. When the hour grows late, the caretaker decides it's time for rest. She wraps her shawl around her shoulders and steps onto the porch for a moment, taking in the hush one last time before bed. The wooden boards are colder now, and her breath mingles with the falling snow. She runs her hand softly over the Nutcracker's arm, as if to say goodnight. When she looks around, she marvels again at how the snow smooths every surface, how it hushes every echo, how it invites the whole world to slow down, even for just one night. With a final glance, she steps inside, closes the door, and drapes the shawl over a chair. Now the cottage is truly still, except for the quiet murmur of embers in the hearth. In the hush, she brushes her hair, sets down her brush, and slips beneath a thick quilt that holds the warmth of many memories. Her eyes fall shut, her breathing deepens, and her thoughts drift into the welcoming realm of dreams. Outside, the Nutcracker stands with the snow lightly falling against his boots. The lantern's glow still steady, a gentle beacon to guide wandering thoughts to rest. Night embraces the land with its customary tenderness. The snow continues to gather in soft drifts and frosted tufts across the shrubs. Stars emerge when the clouds part, distant and twinkling in a dome of quiet midnight. The Nutcracker's gaze remains steady on the horizon, as though waiting for dawn to paint the sky once more. But there is no rush, for all that matters is this moment of calm, a space and time where stillness is the rule and peace is the promise. In the hours that follow, the hush grows deeper. Wind hushes, and even the distant pines seem to stand in silent communion. The caretaker sleeps, drifting through soft dreams of children's laughter, of gentle flurries, of kind voices that once filled the cottage with life and music. The old rocking chair near the hearth stands motionless, though it too carries echoes of a family that once gathered around, listening to stories and nibbling on fresh-baked cookies. Each memory threads through the night, weaving a tapestry of quiet affection. Outside, the world is blanketed in white and silver. The Nutcracker's presence on the porch is a comforting reminder that everything is just as it should be. Snow arrives, as it often does in winter, a gift of rest and renewal. The caretaker's breath, steady in her sleep, mingles with the rhythms of the silent hours. All that is not needed melts away, leaving only a core of tranquility. In this space, the world seems to speak in whispers. The rustle of tree branches, the nearly inaudible sound of snow meeting snow, the hush of dreams carried on the still air. As the final stretch of night approaches, there is a gentle descending of time and awareness, as though the entire world is exhaling a soft, contented sigh. Even if one were awake, there would be nothing to do but watch the snow fall and listen to the quiet. This is the hour when rest is at its deepest, when hearts and minds can truly let go, if only for a while. and so it remains until the faintest edge of dawn begins to glow behind the distant line of pines, promising another day of gentle wonder. Now let the scene settle around you like a comforting blanket. In the hush of this winter night, all that matters is the calmness in your breath and the gentle ease in your body. The falling snow brings quiet to every thought, every worry, until they dissolve into soft flakes drifting through the air. There is nothing to do but rest, nothing to solve, nothing to fix. Just a moment of stillness at the end of the day. Let your muscles loosen. Let your eyes become heavy. You've traveled through this gentle tale, drifting alongside the snow, standing with the watchful Nutcracker, and feeling the warmth of the caretaker's home. You can let those images linger in your mind, or you can allow them to fade. Either way, you are safe in the softness of this moment. The hush is yours to keep. The quiet is your companion. Let your breathing grow slow and steady, like the gentle swirl of flurries drifting across a porch. As you inhale, imagine drawing in the crisp purity of a winter breeze. As you exhale, let any lingering tension slip away, sinking into the calm of the night. You are at the threshold of peaceful slumber, where your dreams can unfold with ease. Let your thoughts become light, like snowflakes gently floating on the wind. You are free to rest. In the stillness, allow yourself the gift of comfort and ease. Picture the lantern's glow fading to a soft flicker, guiding your mind toward gentle darkness and warmth. Outside, the world can continue its slow dance of snow and silence. Inside, you are held in softness, cradled by the calm you have invited. The Nutcracker stands guard at the threshold of your dreams, keeping watch so you can drift deeper and deeper into restful sleep. Sink further. Feel the night wrap around you like a cozy quilt. Any sound that comes to you blends with the hush, creating a gentle lullaby that tugs at your eyelids. The moment is here. No past or future calls. Only the comforting quiet, guiding you deeper into slumber's embrace. Good night, dear traveler of dreams. May your rest be long and peaceful. May you find warmth in the hush of falling snow. Sleep well